Good morning, UPB January 9th, 2014. It's a Thursday, and look at the market coming back, trying to get out to the all-time highs that we hit just before the start of the year. And we see we're up over a quarter of a percent on the S&P 500 futures. The dollar index is actually rallying here. We have the dollar gaining strength in the new year, and you can see we hit our lows at 79.5 on the U.S. dollar index. But you can see we're spiking to the upside, going to hit possibly the highs we saw yesterday. Over the last 4.5 years, dollar strength would coincide with market weakness or stock weakness because it makes dollar-denominated assets a little more expensive to buy. But not the case, as we have stocks rallying alongside the dollar. Let's look at the bond market as the 30-year U.S. bond futures. And you can see that is up as well. Oh, how about gold? Let's look at gold. Oh, up. Oh, my goodness. Everything's up today. Bonds, gold. How about silver? Silver is up. How about oil? Oh, it's bizarro world where everything just magically rises. And we're back in it. So let's look at some charts for today and heading out through the rest of the week. It is Thursday. We have weekly options expiring in a lot of the popular stocks like Apple. Apple pulled back from its highs, and let's just pull in a closer perspective here, and you can see the rally up to about 548 yesterday, and then we can possibly looking for a move back over to this level here at the 554 area. So I'll be looking for calls for Apple. That's not necessarily a play on the overall market. But look at Google, hit new all-time highs yesterday, spiked right out of the gate. Declined heading into the Fed minute release and then recovered. This, to me, looks like a nice, beautiful flag, which is going to coincide with higher prices for Google. How about KeyW? KeyW, never heard of this stock before, right? JB at optionmillionaires.com was talking about it on the week ahead. You can see the action it's had ever since. Look at the volume right there, big volume candle there. 20-something% short interest in the stock. So that would imply the shorts are going to have to cover. And we had an analyst come out, and there was some consolidation in the sector, said that based on the consolidation with some of the other names, that KeyW, KEYW is the ticker, KeyW Holding Corp, is worth some $80 a share. That would have the shorts squirming in their boots. Anyway, so that's got a lot to do with the action that we're seeing with KeyW over the last couple days. But this was a ditto trade for Jimmy Bob at OptionMillionaires.com. You got the 1750 February calls at 35 cents. They went to like 230 yesterday, something like that. An 8-bagger. Let's go to Zillow. Zillow is talking about this stock, and if you look at OptionMillionaires.com, you can go back a little further. I was talking about this 71.89 level as a double bottom, and you can significant support in that area right here. If you draw this trend line across, and we have a nice spike, and actually called for this little bit of a pullback. You go to optionmillionaires.com, look at my first Zillow post back in the start of December of 2013. I actually had this little annotated chart break out to the upside, and I think it's going to hit ultimately new all-time highs at some point in early 2014. How about Twitter? Another downgrade today. Who's downgrading this stock, huh? I guess someone with a brain. Again, we've been talking about this at OptionMillionaires.com for quite a while. There's nowhere else to put your money except in stocks. So you got a stock like Twitter, which has not really turned much of a profit at all, and continued to ramp to the upside back just before Christmas, fell and was downgraded. And another downgrade today, so we could look for a move back to about 50. The targets from some of these sell-side analysts is about $32 level, so there's a lot more downside to come potentially. And the only thing about that is the option market is pricing that in. So if you want to trade for downside, just for instance, in 2 weeks' time, look at some of these option prices. I mean, the 55s are $1.30, 57.50s are $2.15. These prices are going to rise, obviously, this morning. You can look at Twitter's action based on the downgrade it got this morning. Further downside. Let's just pull into a one-day chart. All right, that's Twitter. How about SolarCity? SolarCity is on Goldman Sachs's conviction buy list. JB at optionmillionaires.com has been talking about this for quite a while, and you can see the ramp up it had from the 66 level, 69.50s. That was the highs just a little bit ago this morning. Looks like it's going to break that 70 level. This, and it's funny because we're heading into 2014, everyone's looking at, well, what's the next Tesla? We all know Tesla rocketed from about April of last year, and you can look at Tesla's price action. Really rocketed higher from April of last year, from $40 to almost $200 a share before pulling back, and is now consolidating. And just as a side note, Tesla almost record short interest in the stock. The same short interest that it had down here when it cost significantly less to short the stock is up here. So the dollar value of that short interest has gone up significantly, as have the losses for anyone shorting the stock from here. But to me, I'm looking for a move over $200 in the short term. Tesla is poised for a spike higher, but anyway, Solar City, nobody was talking about this stock except JB at optionmillionaires.com when it started rocketing higher. Now Goldman Sachs is behind it, JP Morgan Chase. A lot of these analysts are getting behind this stock. And heading into 2014, you're looking and say, all right, well, what's the next Tesla? What's the next 300-400% stock that nobody has been talking? This is it. This is probably it. You got Elon Musk, obviously behind Tesla, so also behind Solar City. Goldman Sachs the other day downgraded some of the solar stocks, including First Solar, and made Solar City conviction buy. So we'll look for a move to about $80 here in the short term, and if it could get parabolic here, move over $100, and then we'll get the same cries we had with Tesla when it was at 60, 70, 80, saying, oh, there's no way, this is an $80 stock, $90 stock, and then when it's at 150, like, oh, well, it's no way, it's 100, We know the story. Let's move on to a couple other stocks, and then we'll get into some trades for today. Macy's. Macy's announced they're laying off employees. The sum of it all is that their employees the amount of employees will remain the same in spite of the layoffs. They're opening some stores. They're closing some in upstate New York and Missouri, I think. But very bullish remarks, according to investors, as they ramp the stock higher after hours. Some analysts came out here this morning upgrading the stock, $65, $68 price target. So look at Macy's. Also JCPenney, some analysts coming out talking positively about it. But again, if you look at JCPenney, to me, and I brought this chart up even before it started to really decline, once it broke down below this support line here at 13, it's going bankrupt at some point down the road. It was boom or bust, and really with JCPenney, once it broke this long-term support line, you can see the support line here. Once it broke, that's it. It's done, and I think this candle is going to continue to the downside, and we're going to see JCPenney at some point this year file for some sort of restructuring. Let's look at a couple more stocks, and then we'll move on. Again, Google hit all-time highs, breaking out to no man's land. Look at this trend line. It's remaining firmly above. That would be if we do get a pullback. We did initially on Google yesterday. We did get a pullback, and then we bounced late in the session. But very bullish again still. With Google, a lot of these tech stocks continue. How about Visa? Visa hit new all-time highs yesterday. Pulled back a little bit, but look at this. Although it's a little muddied here in the short term, the long-term perspective for Visa, look at that. This is like Chipotle Mexican Grill's chart. You just take a line and just draw it straight to complete accumulation. Anyone standing in front of this accumulation train has been steamrolled. Same with MasterCard, hit new all-time highs yesterday. I don't know what that line's doing up there. Let's get rid of that. But you can see just a beautiful chart. And VXX continues to hit new lows. I went short here. I sold short one share of VXX at 7,500. I haven't covered yet. I'm just kidding. I didn't. This is split adjusted, but you can see the chart. The same goes true with some of the financial stocks. How about FAS? Look at that. I mean, you could have went I went short one share at 23,000. And I might cover it at 20, 21. Yeah. Or you could have said, yeah, honey, I went long FAS because Kramer told me to put all my money under my mattress. I figured the financials were going to take a hit. So what I did was I went long one share of FAS at 23,000. Now this is obviously split adjusted. I'm just being a sarcastic wise ass for your own amusement. I went short I went long one share of Faz at 23,000. It's now worth 21. You didn't need that money, did you, honey? She was going to use it on makeup and getting her hair done every month, for $200. She comes back, you don't even notice she went to the hair salon. Probably went to her boyfriend's house. All right, let's move to some other stocks here, and then again I'll close it out. Some of the solar, I shouldn't say solar. We just talked about solar. The 3D stocks been mentioned with some positive future prospects from a lot of the analysts. We have DDD, which is 3D Systems. We also have SSYS, and another stock that's really been beaten down because some bloggers have come out and talked negatively about it. How about VJet? VJet's seen a nice rally off its lows. We can't do a 5-year because it's only been out a couple of years here. And you can see VJet looks like it's going to move up to about the $55, $60 level in the short term. You see it's kind of like a stair-stepping pattern here. So look for another breakout to the upside for Voxeljet. It's at 44.60 here. So that'll be some stocks to watch today. And DEC. DEC continues to the upside. There was an analyst, I think yesterday, came out and said that the cold weather is going to help DEC. It's going to help DEC. And look how it's really been confined in this channel. For the most part, we had a couple dips to the downside, but for the most part in this channel. So look for a move up to this 92.50 level. Go even longer term. Oh, we could be looking at a move back over $100. This is a similar chart to stocks like Open Table, right? Or GMCR. Very similar, where we had a sharp move to the upside over $100, a dramatic pullback. Look at GMCR, was down to less than $20, and then a nice move to the upside. So that's DEC. Same, Fossil. Some of these triple-digit stocks. I mean, look at them. You draw a trend line. Beautiful. And that's going to be it for now. How about Yelp? Look at Yelp hit new all-time highs, 25% short interest. Analysts are coming out, gangbusters. Even James T. Kramer of the CNBC Mad Money Enterprise came out last night, talked about Yelp. It's amazing, isn't it? It's just like Mosaic, Pot, IPI when they were at $160 for Mosaic and $260 for Potash. Talking about how good these stocks are. Buy them. Isn't it amazing? Where were you? Talking about Yelp down here at $15 back in June of 2012, or $17.50 in November 2012, or last year at this time when it was at $20. Now it's at $78.42, and now this is the stock to own. It's like, oh, yeah, Yelp was around, but the internet was in its infancy stages. Yelp was, it's amazing when a stock hits an all-time high, how everyone's telling you to buy it. Here it is, yeah, it's up 300% over the last 52 weeks. Now's the time to buy. Not when it was at $20, when I was saying, well, it's going to move up $3 or $4 and maybe move down. It's a very risky trade. Now it's not risky. No. Nobody's going to want to sell the shares they bought here at $17.50. Anyway. All right, UPB's Office Soapbox. Everyone, have a great trading session this Thursday, January 9, 2014. Awesome. All right. And I'll be in the chat room at optionmillionaires.com posting any kind of trades I enter. And if I don't hear from you, have a great rest of the week, a great weekend. Stay warm. Goodbye.